What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Camera's not working. You can hear me though, but the camera's not working. The reason the camera's not working is because I don't have it plugged in. Let's actually do that. Eventually I'll get this. Hold on. Okay, is that going to make it work? I don't know if it's going to attach. Okay, hold on one second. Oh, wait, we got a beep. Got a green light. I'm going to switch and we'll be right back. And that should have oh no. Oh no. A technical problem that I'm totally unqualified to take care of. Hold on. Bring that up. Let's see. Oh man. Did that do it? Ah! Well, there we are. Come here, kitty. Come here. Come here, dude. Yeah, we fixed it. We have. Man, he's shedding. He is shedding. There we go. Okay, we fixed it. How are you doing, everybody? I hope you're doing well. We're starting off strong. But we fixed it. So, there you go. Oh, first things first. I just logged in. This is where I started. So we are going to check on our little pet project out here. So it's still there. Now, with the magic of YouTube, you guys saw this on Sunday. This has actually been here for almost like a week. It's because it took a little while to put the video together and all that. But this has been a week and 2 days that this has been sitting out here. And when I first saw it, I saw it the day it got abandoned because I was doing stuff, flying in and out, etc. And then all of a sudden there it was. And I was like, holy cack, what's going on? I put some messages out in the chat. Nobody knew anything. Da, 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 da. So I ended up, let me save it. And I figured I would save it, and a day or two later, like maybe even that same day, somebody would come along and grab it. And it's still sitting here. So now I'm starting to wonder, like, what's going on here? Why would this thopter be sitting abandoned for this long? What's going on? Now I start to question reality, like, is this person okay? Like, do we need a search party? Did they get kidnapped? Did they get kicked? Are they cheaters? And, oops, sorry, air conditioner. What exactly is going on? Why is this thing sitting here for this long? And then I start to wonder, much like the philosophical question about if you come along and you see a turtle stuck on its back, do you flip it over or not? Are you supposed to get involved? I'm wondering if I just maybe shouldn't have done anything. Maybe just let nature take its course. Now I'm part of it. So I don't know. I'm not sure. If you're familiar with my streams, excuse me, you may have seen me reference the strange box I have in my base, literally called the strange box, which was something that a person who was playing on a free weekend back in December, I helped them out with a couple things, and then when they left, they decided not to buy the game. They, hey friend. They decided they weren't going to keep playing, and he basically just everything that was in his base, he gave me access to. Kind of like, here you go, dude. And I thought maybe he would come back, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep all that stuff. So I put everything that was like a material. I couldn't do anything with the machines and such. But I put everything into a box, and I've been saving it ever since. And now it just sits there and takes up space. And I don't know what to do with it. I've moved servers since then, so the chances of being found, I don't know. Now I've just done it again, you know. But we're part of it now, right? We got ourselves involved, so we are involved. But I will keep you posted. As I said in the description or in a comment, somebody asked me about the video I made about this. I said, you know, guy was like, you could have just put up a couple walls, you know, didn't have to get excited, too fancy. And I'm thinking, I told him, I was like, man, I might build a temple to this thing. We still might. We'll have to see. So let's take a look at, we have still kind of not much Landsrad stuff. I am kind of saving missions. We're up to 15. The reason I'm doing that is there's just really not a whole lot in here that I really wanted. I started working on this just because, you know, it was the thing there. Wasn't a good week as far as rewards go. Wouldn't mind another Tarl, but a lot of combat. This one I ended up getting, I don't need the swatch, so we got the albatross wings, and I was super excited about that, and it was early. And then everything just kind of piddled out. So we may, I don't know. It's kind of good. Like, I'm complaining, but I'm not really complaining because I understand how good of a problem this is. You know what I mean? Like, oh, poor guy, the rewards aren't good enough for you. No, I get it. I get I'm being, you know, snooty. But, I mean, it is what it is. Once you've collected all the things that you really want to collect, the rewards are what you're looking for. My advice on this is if you see something, like say you're just starting out, just getting access to this, don't try to spread yourself out too thin. Focus on one. Usually the better rewards are that 10,500 points. So you're going to be dedicating quite a few missions to getting that. And if you get 10,500, just keep your foot in the throttle, get to 14, get the swatch. That way you don't ever have to do that house again if you don't want to. Then you could be like me and crying and complaining about your gifts aren't good enough for me. What? What? What is it? Huh? Well, come up here. Come on. Well, you ran away. You invested in the thopter's fate? Yep. Now, see, the bad part will be is if I don't tell the person who it belongs to. If I just like keep it quiet. I'm not putting it on stream for God's sakes, but I'll go down there and lock the doors so they can't get it. No, it's mine now. Do I need a Mark V engine? I don't know if I do. Excuse me. Pollen's terrible up here. A Mohandas Sandbike engine Mark V. So let's take a look at our schematics. I had most of these. There's only a couple things I was missing. And I got a bunch of these. So coming back later saying, you know what, I don't want any black squares. I want to make sure I've gotten everything at least once. I'm paying the price for it now because I was actually playing the game at this point and like running around and doing stuff. And you know, this is nothing. It's only like a row and a half, and this is only 3 rows. But when you start getting down here, I took my eyes off the goals. You know, I was like just trying to get through as much as I could. So we've got a lot of things that we're gonna have to do here. It's gonna be tough. But what else are we gonna do? So let's go look here real quick. This should be the mark. Yeah, these are the vibes. Mohandas bike engine. I already got that thing. That's another issue I have with this system. They don't tell you what it is until you acquire something of it. Now, like for this is really great because here's the chosen boot, right? And this is the chosen chest plate. I don't have this set of gloves or this helmet or whatever, hood, wrap, whatever it is, and then chosen pants. So, process of elimination, this is chosen gauntlets and chosen helmet. What's this? It's between D and F. What is it? It'd be nice if it says unknown item. Instead of saying unknown item, just say what it is, dude. Don't give me the specs, but just tell me what the heck it is. I guess if I wasn't such a pansy, I would go ahead and make the content on collecting all of these things. That's a lot of stuff. It's a lot rough. And that information's already kind of out there. You don't need me so much telling you. But yes, we have finished off everything, the few items we need in the copper, and that wasn't that bad. This thing fought tooth and nail. It took me quite a while to get this. I finally did get this one to finish off the iron products. So instead of just doing them, like I have been, since there's so many things here, and you do have to wait time for it to respawn wherever you get it from, I've just decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get as many of these as I can, but I'm also incorporating some of the aluminum stuff. Doing them kind of both at the same time. And then once those are done, we'll work on getting these last, the last in the duraluminum and the plastanium. Those we did pretty well on, because, once you got here, we kept playing the game, doing our thing. 101 out of 118, so we're only 17 away there. This is a little bit more, 71 out of 90, but only by one, I guess. Yeah. Why does it feel like it's so much worse? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's all in my head. But I'm also learning. Weird flare. I'm also learning some pretty slick ways of doing this kind of stuff. Tonight, what we're going to go after is... eventually we'll get there. We're going to be going after some of these items. I know where they're at, where they're located. It's just being lucky enough with the drop. A couple things that we're kind of sneaking up on. And then I also am working on getting the rest of this. The Marikeb still suit set comes from a testing station. And it's not a very short one. So it's kind of an investment. And that sucks. To go through that whole thing and then you get something poopy and you're like, oh. So basically once a day I come in here and run this. It's not particularly a great still suit. And I have plenty of other ones. But the Marikeb set is very special to me. And I'll show you why. We're going to go running this way. And we're going to go to the office. And I think it's here. Yes. So it's very strange, but I have gloves. I have two sets of gloves. And I have a set of boots here. And I got a chest piece, and I got another mask, and I got a mask that's almost broken. It's down to 1 out of 100. I was one day standing at the crossroads, which is that place, the trading post. It's right outside of my base. It's before I actually had my base here, too. I was very early on in the game, and I was standing in there, and I don't remember why I was there. Yes, that one right over there. I was just standing there, and some dude came running in, and he ran over to like the bounty board, I guess it is. And Lee Boy comes to the inner circle. Hey, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that. We got another member. You get to see things a day before everybody else does. And I do member chats too. So thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that. Hope I have a good stream, Zato. I hope I do too. But yeah, going back on with the story. Sorry, I was getting involved in storytelling. And oh, hi. Can we not do that? That makes terrible sounds. And you're gone. Um, but yeah, I was just standing there, and some dude came running in, and he ran over to the board, and I was standing right next to him, and then he just like dropped a satchel and took off running. Never said a word to me, never did a emote or anything. Hey, friend. And I was like, oh, dude, you dropped stuff. He just jumped into a thopter and flew away. So I went over, and it was two of the Marikeb still suits already made. Why he dropped them, I don't know. But I picked them up, and I was just, just had gotten over into this area. I think it maybe the second time I'd been to the crossroads. So for being such a young player early on in the game, getting that still suit pre-made by somebody was huge for me. I don't normally do that though. I don't like giving people high-end gear just because. And don't I wouldn't take it myself. I did take it, but the effect of that was that changed the game for me. There were so many things that I was having to work hard for and struggling with, and was getting better and etc. That even just a Marikeb stealth suit changed everything. I was like, holy cow! Now nobody's hurting me, and everything was. Yeah. So that's why I don't really like dropping things to people. The other side of that though is I'll help you go get it. I'll do that all day long. I had a guy he was on a different siege, and he was trying to buy aluminum because he was trying to make duraluminum, and he couldn't get enough aluminum. Um, he had a thopter. So I don't know the specifics, but I didn't care. So I was like, hey, I'll help you come get some. So I grabbed my buggy and flew it over there in my carrier, went to his siege, and we drove around the shield wall. I drove, and he used the gun and collected the aluminum. And then we flew back over to his base, and we unloaded every bit of it. He took all of it. And he's like, you don't want any? And I'm like, no, I'm cool, dude. I was just here for the fun of it. So, I mean, he worked for it. He was using a buggy that had a much bigger boot and a better cut array than he had. So he was getting way more. But you know what? He was still doing it. I had a player who was just new into the deep desert. It was Jiggy. And I asked him, I was like, hey, have you ever driven a sandcrawler? And he's like, no. And I was like, do you want to? So me and him went out and gathered spice. It was the first time he ever drove it. And he actually joined the guild, and we hung out for a while. When we did the split here, him and the rest of the guys, who I do miss, are on Splinter. So I hope they're doing well. I haven't talked with them in a little while. Still got some cool stuff in the old boxes here from those guild days. Like my thopter's got some time on it. She's still going strong, and we're gonna run her into the ground. But I've got some 200 durability thopter parts that we're gonna be able to put together. But anywho, I digress. Well, let's go ahead and go after a couple things. I have only one Marikeb still suit garment chest piece, and a bunch of the other pieces probably means it's the hardest one to get to drop. Yeah, you wonder about that. You'll look at something and you'll be like, why do I have 6 of this and 1 of those? Honestly, the this Aaron set, I was just dropping them on the ground. But this was the last one I got. was the mask. It took forever. The same thing with this. I mean, I dropped these on the ground after I'd gotten them. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus all the ones I dropped. 1. I don't know if there's a I don't know if there's a drop rate or if like one piece is better than the other or what, but we'll see. Did anybody pick up the thopter? Nope, not yet. Still sitting there. Still sitting there. Maybe you'd let me adopt it. Maybe it's like a rescue pet type thing. That's where my co-pilot, he's out with Mom right now. That's where my co-pilot came from. Got him at the animal shelter. Okay, so what are we going after right now? We are looking for these Inkvine parts. We have a set of pants. Got a mask. Got a jacket. Got a boots, but we need a pair of gauntlets. And I know where to go to get that. So that's where we're going because it's actually relatively easy. And it also lets us do another thing. Because you know me, we always like to double as much up as we possibly can. We have to go over this way to go get that. In fact, I'll show you on the mappy map. Cha! It's right over here. Whoa! Easy there. Okay, stop. It's right here. Going to Kadir's shadow. And it's actually pretty quick and easy to go to the chest that could potentially give that to us. Love that. Alright, you're good. You stay there. That also lets us fly along this way. Shiala had mentioned she was missing 2 items, and she said one of them was from the crashed ships that land in the quicksand part. And I didn't even know there was stuff that came from those. I mean, I knew there was stuff that you could get patterns from. I didn't know there was anything specific from it. I wonder, in all the hours I've played, how many times I have passed right by ships laying in here that could have had that. I did find one last night that had crashed. I saved the video footage of it. It had nothing. I was super excited. No patterns. But that's the way things are. In fact, I was over here getting the item that we're about, or opening that chest, and it came down and kaboosh, right in here, right by these quicksands. You could tell, well, I don't know, depends on the stream quality. But the quicksands are right here. And it landed half in, half out one. And I was like, oh, hey. And unfortunately, there were no patterns at all. So, we're going to come over here to the shadow. This was a huge place. This was one of the mission items. There's a bad guy that hangs out right there. And I didn't have a thopter at the time I did this mission. Boy, I wish I did. Because he lives right up here. Right there he is. Hey, buddy. So we're going to land. We're going to jump out. Normally I, like, do the... I can't select guns. It won't let me pull a weapon out. It's gonna make this much more difficult. Okay. I was hitting it right. I even looked. Believe me, I'm totally capable of being that stupid. Alright, I think we're good. Okay. So this guy, he like flies up in the air like that, and he's like crazy, and oh my gosh, and now we just shoot him once and he falls down. This gets annoying though. Dude, come on. These guys with their stupid anti-gravity grenades. His feet are sticking out. But yeah, this guy was... He was something else, man. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. I'll take that, too. I love this because we're coming over here, grabbing this. But we get that ID band, and the place we need to use it, right in there. I also like this, you know, coming back to the earlier areas, because not only do these guys fall down real quick, but even the melee people I can blow through with the shotgun. There, you fall down. But anyway, yeah, you can just jump right down here and in this room. I'm talking about. That's how you do it. I'm telling you, if you ever have trouble in a game, stream it. Just stream it. Everything you could want. Unfortunately, I can't use those here because you got to be back. Hey, what are you doing? Come on, man. You want to... Oh, he went out. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if co-pilot's out there. Oh, both of them ran out. Incredibly quiet. Get you set. Perfect. And you're good. Okay. Stand Fast says, I love this game. Do you? I do too. That's why I play it all the time. I like survival games, and I like Dune, the Dune universe. The biggest draw for this game for me is like this. I'm in the middle of bad guy central here, but I don't have to be going crazy. The fact that if I want to log in and do incredible things, I can. If I want to do something silly as go back and get an item that I missed the first time through, okay. It's, it doesn't demand that much for me. It's almost like, hey, what do you want to do today? I'll be like, I just kind of want to relax. Like, cool, let's go relax. Works well. That's my favorite part about this. I was big in Battlefield. I was really excited about Battlefield coming. Not quite the game for me, though. And every time I go into Battlefield, it's like, you know, all right, bring your A game. It's hitting it. Let's do it. It's crazy. And time is just like, man, can I just come in here and have a little bit of fun? This area also is really good for these things. Great place to get some calibrated servox and a little bit of money. And some carbon if you need it, but I don't. There's... She just called me supple? I mean, I appreciate it, ma'am, but I'm sorry, I'm married, and, you don't have to get mad about it, but... No one tells Mrs. Rabbit about that. Nobody. But yeah, this is real quick and real easy. Also, doing this search, I have learned about things that I didn't even know when I first started playing. For instance, it doesn't take you long when you get your first thopter and you start flying that you're not easy. You're not allowed to go all that high. Once you get to 750, you start having some fuel problems and it starts burning quick, and it can burn quick. Something like this in a small scout thopter is not that big of a deal. But when you're in like a carrier, like a cargo carrier, or you're in your carrier thopter, things take a lot of fuel. So I never really went above like 750. Every time I'd see that warning, I'd be like, oh no. Now I do it all the time. I don't care. That's how we roll now. Um, but like this big boy right here, the hammer, um, there is an item. There's an item chest on top of that. And you do have to climb it at some point um, as part of a quest. So you get up there, which I knew. But I didn't know that there's also stuff up top of here. Um, this is end of Kadir. Kadir. I don't know if I'm saying it right. This place. And there's a chest up there. Somebody apparently climbed all the way up there, and then he wasn't feeling so good. And bad things happened. But you do have to be careful because you're going to be burning some fuel. What I do is we will thrust her up. And now we'll cross that line, so we don't need that. You can see, look at that fuel going. Just going. Come on, you can get up there. There we go. We'll land right here. That solves the problem. And then we got to keep going up. You can see there's like the little hooks and ropes and stuff, so but it lets you know. Of course, now we're super fancy with all of our stuff like this. Of course, we did it wrong. Can I grab on? Thanks. So here he is. That guy did not have a good time. Yeah, I don't know what happened. He didn't make it. But he has a chest over here. I'm pretty sure I needed that too, guys. So we just got this, which is going to be the ink mines. And so that's another item we needed. I just never came up here. There's quite a few things can come out of that chest. But yeah, it's neat. Semi-decent items. I'll take that. Take that. Great view. So that was neat. Finding out that there was an item up here. But make sure you got plenty of fuel, because you will burn it off. Here's another thing that I realized. This ship over here. Cavaria. We're going to go take a look at that. This isn't on our list of things to do. But there is a super awesome chest in oh, it's down further, yeah. There's nothing up here that I found. But the good stuff is actually down here in Haga. And there it is. So you go inside of here, and then you gotta maneuver your way through, and you're cutting doors, and you're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And then you get to the end, and there's like a door you have to burn with your cutter, right? And you can get in, and that's where the chest is. So it takes some time to make that happen. But what doesn't take a lot of time is going through the hole in the floor right there. This is actually the area that's like one of the pitfall traps to make you fall and do silly stuff. So we're going to head over here, and I like to get close. Oop, I screwed that up. We're going to go all the way down, aren't we? Hell yeah, we are. Scary. You can, from the ground, depending on your skills and what kind of a belt you have, you can actually just from the very base go all the way up here, and what you're doing is you're looking for fire. It was almost like Harry Potter shit there. Oh, I said a bad word, sorry. That door is the one that's at the end. Thank you. But you break this thing open. Boy, does that ever save you a whole lot of time. What's that? Carrick's gauntlets. I don't think I needed those. A couple good things in here. Thank you, Sheep, for telling me about breaking these things down. I have solved my plant fiber problems. Is the other day I saw the one where you almost got eaten by the worm. Very funny. That's happened more times than I would like to admit. Why are they shooting it? Uh-oh. Yeah, you can get in there with relative ease. Fortunately, my thopter's all the way over there. Just do this. Nope, that didn't work at all. Alright, let's just not worry about being cute. Let's just get it done. Alright, but we are 2 for 2 so far. This one didn't count. A couple other places in here I have to go and get stuff. But we're going after... Ooh! We're going after a big game right now. And that is over here in Misa Terrell and the Odom. And my favorite people, the Masquerade. And we're going to testing station 168. This one is where I can try to get my Marikeb stuff. So I figure since somebody gifted it to me, I might as well try to actually get it legit. I mean, gifting is still legit, but that's another reason why you don't want to give newer players or starting players super awesome gear, because they can't fix it. If you haven't unlocked it and you haven't researched it, you can't repair it at a repair center. So apparently the crash ships that have the special patterns can actually be over there as well. But I'm not that invested, you know what I mean? Hey, friend. Yeah, I don't know in the course of playing if I ever climbed that that thing and got that chest before, but I've done it now. That's another thing I do. I'll overheat whenever the hell I want. Do some deep desert dungeons. I'm actually afraid to go into the deep desert right now. The last several days, and it has been server wide, there have been horrible ping issues. And in fact, I've been kicked for having 1,000 ping. It's bad, and I don't know why. I went out and was running the testing stations in the A row, and I got the first 4. There's 6. I did the first 4, and it kicked me, and I was like, did I just lose everything? And it spawned me out in the desert. And then I went back in, I did 1, and could not do the next one. It kicked me again. So I'm not sure what exactly is occurring here. I had a real funny thing happen too with this. If you played this game, this guy feels like an ODPT. Don't waste your time. It's an ODPT. don't know if you're being nice or mean. I don't care either way. I mean, I prefer you be nice, but yeah. You still get your butt kicked in there. In this testing station. This one was tough. I did it a few times. I was like, wow, let's go do other stuff. Revisiting it now where I'm a little stronger, a little more powerful, it's not a big problem at all. But what's up, Odd Shoes? You're mid duraluminum at the moment, looking for the next steps. Awesome, dude. I'm glad it helped. Glad it helped. Okay. Let's get here. So you look in the compass, you can see that the testing station is nearby. Gives you the up or down arrow, tells you if it's higher up than you or lower. And that 89 meters is also included in the angle. So keep that in mind. It might say like going this way down 180, but it could be almost right in front of me. Oh, okay. So it's actually right here. Yikes. Right here, right down in front of me. Okay, we're working. Good. No greeting party out here. All right. Spice bloom. So it's always cool for me, like when I see these respawn beacons. Alexander, you should go then if you don't like this. No one's making you stay, dude. Anyway, like I was saying, these respawn beacons, it's always weird for me to see these. I think I've got a couple of these out somewhere because I never picked them back up when I planted them down. But I always wonder if like I'm going to see somebody else in here, which, you know, team up, pair up with. And, but yeah, every time I'll run and see a respawn beacon, I'm like, oh, hey. Very few times, though, has it ever been paired up with somebody else, though. So it's kind of like it's setting me up to meet somebody, but then we're alone again. Don't you have a spiel?
You've entered Desert Botanical Testing Station number 163.
One thing I want to say, I'm really glad that they put these doors in these testing stations. The fact that you do your way through the whole thing and then you get to the final room and there's usually that band and it just takes you right up and out. Because if they were making us do this whole thing all over again, ugh. Oh, forgot about you guys. Nice auto lock there. There is someone here.
I see sound. Back up.
She poisoned me. These chests are come and go. These things are kind of nice, but I've got a bulk of them, so I don't really need them. But I figure I'm here, why not? Old power packs, they can have some use. I mean, they're broken, and they don't give you as much power. Like that one's got a 300 power pool compared to what I've normally got, 800. Whoa, sorry, I gotta kill somebody. Run. Thank you. Okay. But you can break them down in your recycler, and sometimes it gets pretty decent stuff out of that. So, up to you. I don't really collect these things anymore. I used to grab tons and tons of them. Coming down here, you see this weird thing, like, dude, what is this? And I remember this didn't used to be here. They did the, for one of the chapter updates with the thinking machines, I don't want to spoil too much, and you had to come back in here. Luckily, you didn't have to go through the entire thing just to get to this point. But, yeah, I ran down here the other night. I was in here, and I ran down there. I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, I remember you. Oh, it's going to be interesting when it comes out on console. Many new players, but no crossplay. That's exactly the issue. I don't pretend to know. I have no idea what the behind the scenes stuff on that. I just think it's very odd. It's an odd choice. Odd choice to not have crossplay. Hopefully, between now and then, maybe they could do whatever they're going to do or change. But who knows? I hate farming those damn particle packages like I do a 30-minute testing station. Come out with 3. That is true. You will. What that means is you're not doing... I don't want to say a strong enough testing station. It's like difficulty level. That's the issue. I'll show you what I'm talking about. There are better places to get those things, though. But let's come in here. Oh, getting a phone call. No. Let's go through the doors. Interesting thing, you can't see it because I had the chat because I can't control what they say, but somebody in my Atreides chat here just said, why do people spend so much Solari on low-level item schematics? And I've actually done that. Some of the things that I've collected, I just went to the market and somebody was selling it, and I was like, 50,000? Sure. Because I can afford it, and it saves me time, which is something digital Solari versus real time. I didn't even know you were there. Gonna stand in that poison, dude? Alright, so yeah, 5 and 19 is what I'm getting here. If I were to go, the one that I used to do all the time back in the day was this one right here. Because my base was built here. When I crossed over from the starting area, this was where I built my base. So I was right there by 197. And I would go in there all the time. Like, that was my main, I'd do it before, like, first logging in, boom, we'd hit it and go. I'll grab it all. So I would run the heck out of that thing. And like you said, it's just not that productive because you got to figure this is like your copper tier area, and then these will be your iron, and then your steel is over here. So this one over here is basically an aluminum / duraluminum level, which is why you'll see you getting more of them. The testing stations out in the deep desert, the row A, the very beginning one, those have tons of them in there. Hey Swifter, how you doing? You saw the video on the Ornithopter? It's very kind of you. Is it? I don't know anymore. I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if I tried to be a protector. I'm not sure if I'm like, I might be a hostage taker. Somebody might be sitting somewhere being like, man, this stupid Funcom and their stupid game, because I lost that thopter a week ago and it's still not showing up in my gun to remake it. There was a person on my siege who was talking to another person. Like a guy came from another siege to drop some materials off to him. And I'm wondering if that's who it was. So he may not know that that I saved it. He may just assume that it's been lost. And because he doesn't have it in his gun, that maybe it's like a glitch type thing. So I may be holding it hostage. Reason we came in here is for this. There you go, 8 and 19. It's not bad. But the question is, are you going to be able to survive those higher level testing stations? Because if you struggle with it, if you're not quite to the damage levels, you know, there could be 1,000 in each chest, but if you can't get, you know, if you're not strong enough to get in there and get out alive, it's not going to do you any good. Thought it was a nice thing to do. Yeah, I'm a kidnapper. I might be. I thought it was too, and now I'm like, man, I hope I'm not the bad guy. I just imagine some dude coming to collect it, and I'd be like, oh, hey, you got this? He's like, yeah, I've been waiting a week and a half for this thing to show back up, and it never did. Because you had it. You know, no good deed goes unpunished. That's basically what I'm looking at here. The armband we got opens this door right here. And oh, we're gonna have to kill these guys. They're not gonna let us do what we're trying to do. Lady. We both had the same idea. Yeah, I think everybody's gone now. Okay. Guarantee I don't need that. And then you start having the weird thoughts. Like, maybe I got old information. And this actually isn't the place that I need to go for this. But that's okay. We got 2 of the 3 we were going after. So, I've got no complaints.
Botanical testing station number 160.
Yeah, we'll stay on the ground. Is that server EU? No. I am North America, Washington, D.C. So there we are. That's kind of what we've been doing. And flew through a flock of birds. That's what we've been doing to try to knock out as many of these things as we can. I've been yappy, so that took roughly like 30 minutes maybe. Not even, really. Those testing stations take the longest. The other little infill things, not so much. But and it does that to me. It takes a little while to render, so I'll fly up to it and be like, oh, is it gone? Is it gone? But then it renders in. Sometimes it takes a little longer to render than it's supposed to. Okay, so if we look, we got ourselves these, sorry. So we finished our ink vine set, and we should have gotten this one as well. So let's pull up our inventory. There's our ink vine gauntlets, bingo. And here's our Emperor's Wings Mark III. I'm probably not going to use these things at all. But it's still, that's not why we're doing it. We got a Buoyant Reaper. But yeah, you can see now the how that Emperor's Wings got the nice little purple dot. Boop, there it's gone. And I think we scrolled across the other ones. There we are. 38 out of 46. So 2. I'll take it. Some things I don't like. It's funny because I'll know what it is. For instance, this one. I know this is the Bloodshot Buggy engine Mark III. I have no idea where to get it. The amount of materials needed to craft tier 6 things. I used to think steel was bad. You guys are right, but you're wrong. You're right that, yeah, it does require so many more things, especially for like tier 6 stuff. Come on, open the door. Like if we come over here and we look at the difference for just a set of thopter wings, right? So 250 water, whatever. It's only 15 plastanium ingots. Keep in mind though, we need 4 of them. Advanced Servox, something you've had to get throughout your whole time in life. 12 cobalt paste, that's not really that bad. The melange is kind of rough. And these industrial pumps. Blech. And keep in mind, like I said, you need 4 of them. So we're going to need 16 industrial pumps. Where do you get those? You get those in Sentinel City. Melange, you have to go out in the deep desert. You can get it here in Haga. It'll take a little longer, but you can do it. Cobalt paste, you have to go over to Haga Rift and get the Ethereite crystals, or whatever they're called. It's Ethereite crystals, blah, blah, blah. Advanced Servox. Plastanium ingots. Yeah. What happens, though, is 2 of these items, right? This one and this one. Cobalt paste and plastanium. And you look at it and you think, wow, you know, we're going to need quite a bit of that stuff. This guy right here solves so many problems. Once you get... I kind of missed the boat on the buggy. I didn't get the buggy right away. I was like, it's not any faster than the bike. I'll just keep my bike, and I really wanted the thopter. And I didn't realize how awesome this thing actually is, especially once you've upgraded it. You add in some of your skill bonuses. Which ones are they? Planetologist? Like vehicle mining. I get an extra 20% every time I mine anything. Just from the passive skills, the basic ones here. You add that to the sheer volume that these suckers can bring in.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Oh, it's the big Coriolis one. I'm sorry. This guy will solve all your problems. You have a cobalt problem, you need cobalt paste. The buggy will solve it. We're coming up here. So here is my cobalt paste storage. And this isn't actually all of it. I have all the stuff for deep desert things, but this is just my backup, my spare. It's not even, it's like half, right? My Ethereite storage is right here. And this is also at half. One trip from the buggy will fill this box up. And then I don't have to worry about it anymore. Like 14 for a large wind trap. Okay, yeah, I get that. Some of the bigger pieces. With the buggy, you get to a certain point where even though you need more, you're able to get so much. You can buggy in the deep desert. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. So we have normal sandstorms. Do we? I don't think we. No. No, it seems like normal sandstorms kind of go on hold when. Well, we'll probably have some now. That message we just got said that in an hour I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have the Coriolis storm, the countdown, not the actual storm itself, but just the 8-hour countdown is gonna start. Once that starts swirling around outside, I don't think we do have storms. So between now and 8 o'clock, we might get the notifications there will be one. But after that, no, the regular ones completely stay. Okay, so let's talk about aluminum since you're bringing that up. This is my aluminum ore, and I got a ton of it. And these are my aluminum ingots, which I've got an alright amount. I'm going to come over here, and we're going to... We'll max that out. Come on. So we just took a box that was way full and we knocked it way down. So we're going to come over here and we're going to get into our super awesome buggy. This one, ooh, she's got some hurt on her. It's alright though. I got a Mark 6 cutter ray. And I got the bigger buggy boot as well. Every time I say that, I do this. Sorry, I gotta stop doing that. My engine's a little hurt. I'll tell you what, we need to patch this up. Don't ever go out in busted vehicles, guys. Engines, generators, PSUs, they always break. So do your treads and or wings, and accessories will break. But your hulls and the main bodies normally stay pretty safe. Okay, so let's come out here and we'll do aluminum. Well, I hope we don't have one of those ships come down now, because I'm crazy. I'm crazy enough to do it. So the reason you see so many bases up in these areas here is because your end game materials are going to be here. Not only are you going to get tons of aluminum and the plastone and all that kind of crazy stuff, like you'll get agave seeds, etc., but it's also incredibly close to getting off the main map. So that's why you see a lot of people build stuff here. Bunch of plastone. Alright, so here's this guy, right? So I'm going to jump out. And this is what most of the time you've been doing. Come up here, you scan it, you're like, okay, cool. And I got 115 aluminum from that block. And since we're standing outside, I'll pick up the extra one. So I got 119. I'm going to leave that in here. There's some extra stuff. Oh, I should have dropped all this off. Got the yapping. So we got 119, right? From a single node. If you try to do endgame content the same way you've been doing stuff that got you to like the endgame area, that's what's going to take so long, right? But once you can make things like this, like the buggy, you really should. Because right here we've got this same node, no different. I've got some skill bonuses, so do take those into account. Hit F2 and it's going to bring me up here. There's no scanning, no anything. Same node gave me 467. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. So with my cutter, 119. With the buggy, almost a full stack. So you take the buggy out with the transport orney? Yes. Just built my assault orney, which is a godsend for transferring mats. But I still get more if I use the buggy. Yes. The buggy is huge. And it's even better now that you can carry it to the deep desert because you can go get titanium, strontium, and aluminum out there as well. But is there any benefit to preparing parts that are only at 10% durability? No. It's done on a mathematical calculation. It doesn't matter if you go from 50 to etc. There are skill bonuses you can get in the specialization trees and also in just the general stuff that says that you don't want to be responsible for my death. But yeah, there's things in there that reduce the durability loss that you'll have, but it's all going to be the same. If you wait until it's down to 50 and repair it, it's going to have the same amount of durability loss if you did it twice at 25 and 25 again. So there's no benefit to waiting. Also, there should be another one aluminum here. I'm torn on whether or not you get out. As you can see, there are some little blobs of aluminum here that are laying around on the ground. If you want to get out and grab them, by all means, be you. I'm going to hit the escape, try to leave the game. No, we'll hit F1, get back into the driver's seat. I usually leave the ones that are laying on the ground if I'm mining with my buggy. Just because I'm too lazy to get out. I saw that one over there. As players, our first inclination when we get cool stuff, like, you know, you get your first melange, you get your first plastanium, and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna get this thing that I've wanted for so long. That's our first instincts. That's how we all play games. But you look at this example here, it is more beneficial, is that even the proper terms, to invest in being able to do the things that you're already doing better, so that you log in for 30 minutes, you go run and do this, and you know, we're not taking a long time here, and look at how much I've already got. And for anything that you, I was getting happy because I was like, there's 3 of them? Holy cow. But no, that's unfortunately, it's a blob of copper. For the stuff you need, if you need aluminum, come up to the eastern shield wall. Just drive around up here. You'll find tons of it. If you need cobalt paste, you can actually bring your buggy down here and run through here. You'll be able to fill it up before you get to the end. Take that back, make tons of cobalt paste. You can actually drive your vehicle, if you have a radiation suit, you could drive it in shoal, get the jasmium in order to make duraluminum. I'm on the same island as the giant hammer at the moment. Yep. It's, you know what? It's just the progression of the game. Right now, like I said before, I built right here and it was great for me because I had, you know, bodies to make water because that's what I was hard up on. And this was a really good station to do on a constant basis. How do you swap seats so quickly? Yes, there is. So this thing has, I don't know how to say it, multiple seats. So right now I'm in the turret. Let me jump out. If I enter the vehicle, I'm automatically the driver. If I want to go into the turret, I hit F2. Puts me right into it. If I want to be a passenger, I can hit F3, and now you can just see my little face in there. Oh, there. See, I'm just sitting here chilling. I don't think... Yeah, there's nothing in F4, so there's only the driver, passenger, and the turret guy. If you get into something like a carrier or an assault, there's multiple seats, you can bounce between them. Just be careful, because if you're flying and you do that, it's just going down. But yeah, F1, F2. Now we're in here. Now we're in there. That wasn't always a thing, so don't feel bad. They just added that within several months ago, so it's been a while. But don't think that you're being goofy. Yeah, we as a community kept asking for that. Don't anger me. I will come after you. Ooh, did you see that little kick flip? That was pretty cool. An aluminum run was not on the list of things I expected to do tonight, but screw it, man, we're good. Ooh, come up over here. And the buggy will get more of everything. Compared to gathering it by hand. In fact... Why are they shooting? One thing I love is coming up to a fuel cell with these things. I am a wealth of knowledge. I try. You know what? It's one of the worst things that happens in gaming is people, and I do this too myself. I'll say stuff, and I assume everybody knows it. And until you've seen it or read it or someone's shown you, you don't know. I made a video about collecting carbide scraps and diamondine dust, and one of the best things about me doing that video was all the people that chimed in and said, dude, you missed spots. I had no idea there were areas that I wasn't even hitting. I didn't know. Doesn't mean my video was wrong. It wasn't. Oh, no. Don't. I'm going to do this. I'm telling you right now, don't do this. But when you get up here and you're like, alright, screw it, I want to go. You just drop off the cliff. There is no collision damage in this game. I think if they did decide to put it in there, oh, I hope they don't tell us. That would be great. That would be hilarious. I wouldn't even be mad. Okay, so here, look at this. Yes, there are storms. Because we're in the build-up to the Coriolis, there still will be storms. Once the storm is officially building up, that'll stop. I don't think that's going to hit us. Oh, but like I was saying, don't do what I just did. You may be inclined to yeet yourself off a cliff since there's no collision damage, which I totally get, and I do it all the time. But I have also had to contact Funcom's support because when I came down, I landed on the side of the mountain and it shot me up underneath the map and it fell into oblivion. I think that's just going to skim by us. This is criminal. Right here, what we're about to do. But you can mine fuel cells with these things. Not if you're too close to it, though. So, Alright, so put everything I can over there. Let's see if it grabs the full amount. Yeah, it did. It's awesome. So I just got 1,500 fuel cells. 1,500 fuel cells in 10 seconds worth of work. And I grabbed this one. There's another one back there and another one back there. And if you go over here, there's multiples. This changes every week, but usually I'll just take a jip out here and we will do a quick run and I'll gather up maybe some fuel cells for the week, everything I could possibly need. Get a layout of the land. Sometimes I won't even have to do it. But yeah, 1,500. So the whole point that I'm making is, yes, things require a whole bunch more materials to get. But you're going to have access to a method of getting a whole bunch more materials. So this box had one row. I put in 1,000 ingots to be made. I went out. It's only made 82 of the 1,000, and I'm already back to a completely full container. Where do you get screwed with that? You get screwed with that on water. Water is going to be your Achilles heel. Once you make a buggy, and let's do this. Under vehicles. Right, so you can make a buggy once you're in steel product. It's not going to be as super awesome as mine because I've got all the purple things on it and I've got all the big skills and stuff, but it is still going to be noticeably better than trying to gather this stuff by hand. And these rays also should point out, if you go to it and down at the bottom it says show stats, if you hit that, it tells you what it can cut and how much it'll get. So this one can do copper, granite, salvage metal, iron, carbon, and ethereite. So I cannot break aluminum with this Mark II. I can do aluminum with the Mark III. Now you'll notice it says basalt and aluminum because it's going by the areas. It says 90. If we come down here and let's just go big with the 60, you'll notice basalt and aluminum, we're now at 195. So the Marks not only can cut into harder or newer items, but also the old stuff you're going to get tons more of. And these numbers are going to be in addition to any kind of skills that you get here. Like for this, my vehicle mining is an extra 20%. So whatever material I was getting, say I was getting 300 of it with that cutter ray on the buggy, I would get an additional 20%. So I'm getting almost like 400. It's like 360, I think. And you can also get certain benefits, if I'm not mistaken, from gathering here. But a lot of these are going to be hand only. So you got to be careful with that. I think it specifies when it's the others. But so yes, like I said before, yes, you need a ton more stuff, but you're going to have the access to the machinery that's going to get you tons and tons and tons more. Yeah, you get 655. Yep. I would, well, you know what? Before we go too crazy with this, with your skills, you can change these. You can reattribute skills. I don't have a sponsorship from Funcom, so I can say things like this. I don't like the way they did this. Because if you hit that button, it wipes everything, and then you've got to start all over. There are certain skills that no matter what build I have, I'm going to want. I wish there was a way where you could come in here to reattribute, and you could click this and drop it from 3 down to nothing. And it would just give you the skill points back, and you could go spend them wherever you wanted, instead of completely wiping everything down. and starting back with your full skills, and then you have to build everything up. But you know what? I mean, what can you do? Is it Mentat stuff? No. This does with tailoring and stuff. But yeah, planetologist. If you're going to, let's say, you're like, this week, I'm not going to do testing stations. I'm not going to do any spice, deep desert stuff. I'm just going to be getting ores and doing that kind of stuff. Go ahead, reattribute your skills, and collect all this stuff. Having extra sandcrawler yield, like for me, this is great. I get an extra 20%. Unfortunately, I got to stick my butt in my sandcrawler to get any value out of this. And I couldn't tell you, it's been 2 weeks since I've been in my sandcrawler. It's not doing me any good. I could wipe that clear and pick it up for something else. But if you know that you're not going to be doing any kind of heavy gauge combat, so where you may not need too much of this stuff, go ahead and reattribute your skills, play around with them, put things where you need to. But some of them I'm always going to have, like this will always, any build I do, even if I did one that was like strictly for combat, I bet that's on there. Just in the off chance that I need to grab it. Things like this, like a fuel efficient pilot. At one point I was like, oh, I need to really do this. And then I was like, you know what? Fuel cells are cheap. I don't care. I don't care anymore. And efficient driver, my less fuel usage, they're cheap. I can make tons of them. Oh, here's one. So this max durability loss, this would be the change that we would be talking about, like when you asked about repairing immediately or every little bit. When you think about this, say I have something that has 100, I break it down to 50 and I repair it. The max durability loss is going to be 25%. Let's just say that's what it did. If I stopped halfway, that is still going to be the 25% durability loss, but since it's on a half item, it's going to be half of the durability from the other one, so it doesn't really matter. There is the off chance, I don't know if Funcom was smart enough, that if something is like 1% broken, like if it has 100 durability and you let it get to 99 and fix it, if it does that, I don't know, maybe it can't do decimals. That's a lot of running back to the repair station over and over and over again. Did not want to do that. So if you saw like you had said about the thing I said about getting from plastanium to or getting from duraluminum to plastanium, the same thing can kind of work in any one of these categories, going from any one of the products on. We definitely look at things like, oh, here's a deciliter, John, where I can carry more water so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm gonna get that, and then I'm gonna get, I'm gonna look at da. I would suggest to spend some effort on being able to build machinery, because this stuff is going to make things quicker, faster, and in better bulks. When I first did this, I was like, oh, I can't wait to get medium storage, obviously, so you could bring more stuff, make it into more stuff. Oh, I could do this. It's going to be so cool. These are cool, but it's also kind of a death trap, because now you have to go out and get the stuff to keep it running, etc. Blah, blah, blah. You could power your entire base with wind turbines. Incredibly easy. Duraluminum's not that bad to get. It is some work, but once you build it and you make the lubricant out of your chemical machine, these things will run for like 30 days and you don't have to touch it. Power's not as bad as it used to be. What really gets you now is water. When I first started playing this game, I would live totally like, dude, I was always in line of sight of flowers, And we've all, maybe think back, you remember those times where you just had this tiny, like, look at my water bar now. They got things ridiculous over there, but it used to be down in the bottom and it would be flashing all the time. I'm surprised I didn't get burned on my screen from the, you're thirsty, you're sated, your thirst. But that all kind of goes away when you get your first canteen, your first dew scythe, and you can make your first cistern where you have like, you can go out, collect water, and dump it in there if you don't need it right away. And you start actually collecting the first little bits of water that you're going to store. And you think to yourself at that point, yeah, now I'm big leagues. This is how this is going to go. You're just going to get more canisters, more cisterns, and you just keep collecting water. Keep collecting water. So you see my base. You've seen me run around with it. You see all the crazy stuff I have. I am still ensnared by the need for tons of water. And I honestly don't have that much. I know 2 million seems like holy crap. There's people out there with 10 and such. And I've got all these large tanks. Each one of those is 100K in water. I've got all of these blood machines here, blood purifiers, and I've got all these death stills. I've got a lot, and I don't use any of it. You really don't see me use any of it. I've got a lot of machinery and a lot of space dedicated to just turning stuff into water, because that's what really gets you. You can go out with your buggy and collect all the materials you could ever want, but if you don't have the water to make stuff, what's it doing to you? These are like the super cool, the improved blood ones. I've got, Baron's bags, the giant, the massive ones, all this stuff. We've got boxes and boxes of dead people. I don't know. I guess these are refrigerated. I don't know. All of this is, like, I'm not using it right now, but eventually I'm going to get on a tear. And I'm going to be like, I got to make a bunch of dumb stuff. And I'm going to, boom, make a whole bunch of crap. And I'm out of water. And it doesn't take long. Because like you said, you need 1,400 for a large wind trap. So you need to go out and you need to get the aluminum. Sorry. So if you want to make a large wind trap, where'd you go? Are you in the water section? Yeah. So I need 240 duraluminum, right? In order to make duraluminum, I need aluminum, which means I have to go get the aluminum, and then I have to go get jasmium down in Shoal, and then I have to combine those two, and that's what I make duraluminum. And then I got to go get silicone block. So you look at all that stuff, and you don't really think about the water behind it. That's what gets you. And even at 2 million storage, it takes a special time for this number to get down incredibly low. It has gotten low. I have run out. I have 6 of those large wind traps on the roof. And I usually rely on those to keep those tanks full. Not to fill them, but to keep them full, if that makes sense. I'll go out, I'll be doing dumb stuff. I'll look and be like, oh, my liter John that I carry as my little canteen is low. I'll run over, I'll fill it up. It's not a whole lot of water that got used. Those wind traps are designed to fill that back up. They kind of keep things running and keep things topped off. What really makes the difference is that room there with the blood purifiers and the death stills. That's where most of the water comes from when I need it. With me running around collecting schematics right now, I don't need water. But there was a point where I was making tons of rockets and tons of equipment. And, we were getting ready to fight. And that required loads and loads and loads of materials and loads of water. So that's what's going to get you caught. For instance, here, these aluminum ingots, each one's 200. Doesn't seem like much, but I made 1,000. Well, 200 water per 1,000. That's why this is down 100,000. And then for duraluminum, it's 500 for each one. So if I set up 1,000 of these, now I'm down 500,000 water. That's you know, it goes quick. So are you storing filled blood sacks until you need to purify them? No, I'm not. This is an oversight on the game. This is one of those things that I don't think you should talk about. But maybe it's just too difficult for Funcom to deal with it. But when these boxes get low, like for instance, this one's down to 1,800, right? Yeah, we can do it. I was going to say, I don't want to do this because I'm getting close to that compressed body people thing. And that's going to cause a problem if I do it improperly. Okay, so I cleared off a whole bunch of space right there, right? So what I do is I come over here, and this is for blood scavenging, and I'll grab this thing, which is just one that I found. That's why it's half. And then as many of these things as I can carry. And sometimes we'll even drop equipment. Like I don't really need a still suit. I really don't need the extra stuff if I wanted to. But this is good enough for an example. I gotta put a lower hanger. I thought about making a chute where I could just like jump from here and it goes all the way down to the ground. We're not even going to take that. We're going to take this bad boy because it's got space. Just got a whole bunch of plant fiber in there for some reason. Okay. So we're going to go out and we are going to... Yep, it's still there. We're going to farm up some reserve water. So the first thing I'll do is we'll equip that. And then I'm just going to start going around to different peoples. There are 2 dingleberries up here. These will be fine. There they are. There we go. Alright. Oops, sorry. So, they are both dead. Now, I am actually running really full on my inventory right now, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these guys, and we're going to put these down here. And I just want to make some space. That will be fine right there. So what I would normally do is I would come over here and I would pack these guys up and I'd stick them in the salt thopter, and then we'd move on our merry way and go find them. More people. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit... Sorry. Trying to cut away there. You get the little green dot. And I just pulled 12,000 blood into this bag. And we'll do the same thing here. So now this bag is at 24. I don't know why, but I can still pick these guys up. This is... Oh, I don't have enough space. Sorry. I can still pick those bodies up and put them in a death still, and I'll still get the full amount, even though I took a ton of blood out of them. I don't know why it does that. but they're still worth the same amount of water in a death still. And then I'll stick the blood in and get that thing running. So it's kind of like I'm double dipping, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, we're not far off. I gotta drop another bag. So out of these two bodies, we've got 24,000 in blood. Also, there's a right there. The third skill under gathering gives you blood extinguishing mastery. You get 100% blood. Normally, I wouldn't get the 12,000. I would only get 6. But with this skill, which you can get very quickly, now you'll be able to get an extra 100%, doubling what you would normally get. We're not going to be super crazy about this here. That's why we have the downstairs open area. It's actually sheltered, so if somebody's in a bad situation, they need to take shelter from the storm, they can do that. Okay, so what I'll then do is I will forget that I put them in the actual assault ornithopter. And we'll have to, let's bring all this stuff over. So this, and this, and this are going to go in the backpack. So I put this over here, and can I get them both? Awesome. So these do not have power. Let's turn this on. Okay, so these are the super cool advanced death stills. I am currently 100,000 down in water. I can deposit this guy, and in 50 minutes, he's going to put 40,000 back in. I can also turn around and go to this machine and deposit all that blood. 24,000, there's a reason we do it. And now it's just going to sit here and add that total in. That's technically from the same guy. I don't know why. I'm out there collecting bodies. Why not do this? It's just a little extra step, but it's more and more and more water. I hate the glug glug sound that's doing this. Like, knowing that it's people's bodies and blood, it's just kind of gross. So whenever I do go out and collect bodies for my death stills, I'll take this little setup here, and it adds a little bit extra time, but it's the extra bonus water. Right now, all of these bags were empty because that aforementioned moment where things got real crazy for me and I was using ridiculous amounts of water and blood in order to make that happen. But the moral of the story is, focus on your base. You're going to want to make the coolest ornithopter ever. Like, oh man, I can't wait to make the Mark V. I have a Mark IV, I want to do the Mark V. Is the Mark V better? Yes, it's faster. That's about it. It's a little tougher, but as long as you're not getting into fights in the skies in the deep desert, you don't really need a strong one. It'll be okay. Spend a little more extra time in your Mark IV if you can get a better buggy that's going to let you mine materials faster and produce things, because in a very short time you'll have all the materials you need to make that Mark V. Maybe even do the Mark VI. You could skip one if you wanted to. What are the things to... Good God. What are the things to focus on as far as base items? Remember to put that back in there later. Put it on 7. We'll do the easy thing. Things to make for storage. You want to do medium containers. They take plastanium. It sucks. Make whatever box you can make. We have huge amounts of storage capacities, like quantity, how many boxes you can have. Keep in mind, storage is storage. So this is a box, this is a box. These cisterns are considered boxes. And depending on the size of your base, you are going to have a limit to storage. For instance, I can do 150, and I currently have 104. That is between storage boxes and water tanks, cisterns. So just keep that in mind. You can look at it this way. How many of these little boxes, which have 1750 versus 3500, this takes up one spot on the floor. You can fit, if you do it properly, you can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these here, and then you could build a second story thing, like a half floor with a half wall, and you could put another 8. You could put like 15 of them on there, which is ridiculous for the same amount of space, but it's costing you storage numbers. If you have a whole bunch, like me, right now I'm at 104 out of 150. I'm using up 2/3 of the allocated spots, so I kind of got to be careful. But I could put a whole bunch of small things, because eventually it overruns one big one. Same thing with water. Not as predominant, but we'll go into that. But eventually you're going to get the notifications that you're running out of storage space, so you're going to have to go to a bigger thing that can hold more. As far as water goes, though, it's a bit of a different story. This little guy here can hold 25,000. You can put 4 of them in one spot, which is 100,000, which is the same amount for you to make one large one, which holds 100,000. But the difference is, we're going to try to repair things. For this thing, you only need a little bit of steel and a little bit of silicone. It's not too bad compared to duraluminum ingots, silicone blocks, and industrial pumps. So put 4 of these in a square with steel and silicone, and you've got the same water storage as you do with the bigger one. Eventually, you're going to want to turn these little guys into big ones, because you'll have 4 blocks storage units here, which will become 1 for the same amount of water. 12 to 15 mediums. At one point, I had, actually, this area back here, this whole thing was mediums. Set up 4 per square, all medium cisterns, until I could start getting enough pumps and enough materials to make the large ones that you saw upstairs. And what I would do is I would take the water out of one, like I would refill liter johns, empty it, destroy it, and then go fill that, and just ran it back and forth just like that. But yeah, this whole thing was nothing but medium cisterns, and I pushed it up to like 146 of the storage capacity. But what that did was it got me to where I needed to be. None of this is permanent. You can destroy everything in here. So just kind of gauge that out. Yeah, it's really cool to walk into a room and see all those ginormous tanks, and then to see that I have 2 million water, in a big row, and I've got more to put here and all that. But there's a price to that, and that price is 150 duraluminum, 160 silicone blocks, and industrial pumps. Whereas I could just put 4 of these bad boys down for 160 steel, which is easy to get, and 120 silicone blocks, which is not the funnest thing in the world, but it's not the worst thing in the world. So for your storage, don't worry about it too much. Yes, you want to get to these, there'll be time. Go ahead and stay with the smaller things. You probably got enough space, if you look at your subfief, to kind of handle having smaller units, more smaller things than fewer larger ones, if that makes sense. I'm going to leave refineries and fabricators up to you. Whatever you're making, go for it, make it. As far as utilities go, as you can see, there were generators, regular generators downstairs. I've got some spice generators right here running. And I've got omnidirectional ones outside on the roof. Oh, I forgot I left you here. It's convenient that you're here. So you can see there's 2 there, plus 1 tucked in back that way. And there's also some over here. I've always kind of done a hybrid source. I have blood purifiers downstairs along with death stills, and I have wind traps. And I have regular generators, I have spice generators, and I have the omnidirectionals up here. So I use all of them. Let's actually go in the hangar. Did you see that glitchy thing? We got 12 minutes before the storm actually starts to build up, so that'll be fine. This runs in the same aspect. 120 duraluminum, 160, you got the calibrated servox, which we were getting at, but now you got to get spice melange. And this thing will make 350 in power, but it takes up pretty much a single spot. This guy, again, just needs steel and cobalt paste and some servox, not too many, but you could fit a ton of these things. I think you can do 3 and 3, so you can get 9 here. Build these. Build as many as you need to keep whatever's going on downstairs running until you get to the point where you can start replacing them with some of the bigger, more fancy units. I had these before. I took these out when I moved to this, but there was a good while where we ran on these. There was a good while where I didn't have large traps. They were all these. Yeah, it's the pumps holding me back, which I need to go and farm. Yep. Sentinel City. If you have tons of money, you can go right there and go visit Zoe, and she'll sell you 15 of them every day. But Sentinel City runs kind of crappy. It's a little glitchy for me. But go ahead and, since we're talking about the water things again, you know what? You don't need the water pumps for these. Put 4 of them down and you'll get the same amount that you'll get out of this one right here. This gives you time. You've got the benefits of what they I'm sorry, my webcam is cycling. I don't know if it's trying to save stuff or what. I just moved from regular gens to full omnidirectionals because they're so much cheaper to run with a bit of crafting. You're wanting to improve. You're going to use these until you can make these. Once you can make these, you'll use them until you can make these. Same thing. I mean, that sounds obvious, yeah, but never fully abandon anything. Like I said, I don't have these, but I've got those, but I also have multiple forms of generators. I've got wind traps. I've got blood things, blood machines, and then I've also got death stills. Water's where you're going to get caught. Everything else will come in time. But I guess the basic advice, the starting back from scratch, the first thing that you need to research is in the vehicle tab. Get yourself a buggy and an ornithopter. With that, you'll eventually rule the world. Of course, your buggy's not going to matter unless you get a cutter ray. Do you need the bigger boot? I mean, it is cool and it is nice, but it's not required. And you just keep making trips. I would have to say that in my gaming world here in Dune, the buggy and the ornithopter are the two things that changed my gameplay the most. Um, they opened up so many different things. I was so like when I first got my buggy and took it up to that aluminum. At the time, I still was living down here, so I would get in that buggy and I would drive across here. I always hit this one, and the worm would always come, but I'd always make it to the rocks. And then we would work our way up through here, and I would come up to here and swoop down, and then I would come in and go right up here and get a whole bunch of aluminum and do all that stuff and do everything is great, and then work my way all the way back, process it in, get the machines running, put the rest of it in storage box, right back out to it. That was a hard living, the hard way to live. But it's what we do. But yeah, I would go focus on your buggy, focus on your ornithopter, and just start collecting more items and more materials. It does take a lot the higher up you go, but there's a reason, because you'll have the capability of getting way more items each time you go out. And also, if you think about it, like, I don't know how much time you have, but let's say you've only got 30 minutes. Well, I just went and got a full load of aluminum back there in roughly 30 minutes. Whereas if you're doing it by hand, it's going to take quite a while. Really helps to maximize the time you spend doing stuff if you don't have that much time to do it. And it's even better now that we can carry our buggies directly out to the deep desert. You don't have to break it down. You can attach it to the big carrier ornithopter once you've made one of those and take it out to the deep desert and grab it that way. Or if you really want to be fancy, you can break your buggy down, put it in a cargo container, carry both of them out, put your buggy together out in the deep desert, and just mine for days. Oh, don't you do that. Oh my gosh. There was an achievement to climb all the way to the top of the Sentinel. And I did it with a suspensor belt. I know that's cheating, but when I first started playing this, I'd see people flying around like that and I'd be like, that's dumb, don't do that. I don't know if I need that. Let's check. Nope, I don't need that. I think this can drop from there, and that can drop from there, I believe. I don't know where this comes from. I haven't figured that one out yet. Yeah. Yeah, I'm stuck on the dead guy. It's horrible. But yep. Well, we're getting close to the end here, so we're going to call it a night. I'm going to decide what I want to do with the with our lost and found ornithopter out there. Hopefully tomorrow we get some decent early unlocks in the Landsrats, so there'll be some items that we could chase after. Just really wasn't feeling it for this one, so we didn't do it. That's another thing I love about this game, is you just don't... Upgrading the wings and engine is enough to get speed, yeah. That's another thing that remains that you should say that should be said is you can put a Mark 6 cutter on a Mark 4 buggy. That doesn't have to match because it's an extra piece. So you can have an older buggy with a more advanced cut array. I think you can do that with the boot as well. I'm not sure about the boot, but I know that you could put a different cutter on that. So you can like 60 saying upgrading the engine, the wings is going to pick you up speed. But I hope that made sense. We got a little bit off track, and I tried to explain it as best I could. That's one of the reasons why sometimes videos take a long time for me, because I'll say that, and then when I listen back to it, I'll be like, dude, what the hell were you even talking about? What were you trying to say? But anywho, I'm glad I could help, old Odd. I'm glad I could help. We're going to kind of hang out here, and we're going to stay up here with our dead friend. It's a really great place to watch ships crash. Pretty good spot to get away from the sun as well. So I think I might do that for a little while. I got to go talk to Mrs. Rabbit, see how her day was. I got the short version. Why is he agitated? All this because we're looking for a ship. Crash ship because it's got a, I think it's a Sprinter still suit is what it's called. And it's got to be one that lands in this area. Basically, everything where this stuff is, where the quicksand is, that is where it potentially could be. Alright. Would doing that not cause more wear on the Mark IV parts? No, it's just that's not going to wear them any more than it normally would. You'll think that it does because you'll be repairing a lot more of the Mark 6 than you will, or the Mark 4s than you would like a Mark 5. But that's just because the Mark 5 is a little tougher, and has a little bit more points to begin with. So it looks like it, but honestly, it's just existing the same way it is. When you look at it percentage-wise, it all makes sense. Hey, goodbye, guys. Man, they go fast. Holy cow. How can they survive that? Hello. Hello, person down there. For a good while, I was running a, I think it was a Mark 4 buggy with a Mark 5 cutter on it for a good long time. Until we advanced up a little bit more. Oh, we're gonna get heat stroke like this guy. Somebody programmed this. Somebody's like, I'm gonna put a dude with like the whole top half of his body all burned up, and he's like sitting in front of, I guess, a campfire with his bags. He's got a frem kit. He just decided to sit here and die beside this chest. Somebody programmed that. Good on you. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Hope you learned stuff. Hope it was helpful. And we're going to keep doing what we're doing. I think we're going to upgrade our lost ornithopter area. Just like in the Dune lore, we're going to make it a shrine to our father's skull. And we'll see if we can find that person. I haven't put anything out on the Discord for my server yet. You got it, Odd. Glad to help. So I've kind of been lazily trying to find out whose thing this is, but we'll see. If they do show up, I'll definitely get, if I'm there, we'll get some information and get their side of the story. I'd love to know exactly what happened, what caused it, and what they thought from the other side. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. Oh, we did actually hit 8 o'clock. I will be back on Wednesday. Not sure what we're doing, but we're going to be doing something. Probably knocking out a bunch of Landsrad missions, because by then I'll probably be up to 25 if I don't do any tomorrow, which there's a good chance I won't. Just between you and me. But, and we'll see how many more of these we can get. 38 out of 46, so that's not much at all. 45 out of 64. We got about 20 that we got to get in aluminum, so we got to get working on that. But we'll see what we can do between now and Wednesday, and I will see you then. So thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. And like, subscribe, share. Those things all help the channel out. We are cruising right along. We broke 860 earlier. It always amazes me, and I hope I live up to the expectations. Doing my best. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will see you Wednesday, and as always, I'll see you out there. Take care.